Okay, so we're recording. But yeah, like I said, interrupt, ask questions as you go, whatever. Nope, we don't need to be like formal or anything about this. But I was going to screen share, so I feel bad you can't see Lori, but we're basically going through the Live Guide, the purple one with the lavender on the front.
Uh-huh.
Are you familiar with that one? Okay, so we're going to go through that,
Yes.
that one and talk about wellness consults, okay? And why this is so important for your business and why we need to do them and how it can help you. Okay, so we're going to do a screen share here. Okay, but before I do that, let's talk about why we need to do this. So basically, when you enroll somebody, that's fantastic, right? Because they get a kit, they're enrolled, they're super excited, but it's basically just a one-time purchase, right? So is everybody familiar with the buckets and pipelines story situation? Yes. Okay. So basically when you're enrolling somebody, that's the bucket, right? But we want to get to the pipeline, and the pipeline is when we get them set up on LRP. So LRPs are just those orders that just keep going, and we love them because that's contributing to our income in a way that we really don't have to do anything about it. So a few keys to getting somebody on LRP, and the biggest is the wellness consult, right? It's definitely a huge contributing factor. But another one is just plugging them into continuing education. Because if people are plugged into continuing education, and we're going to talk about this more next week, I think, then they're going to find products that they want to try, or ones that might meet their needs or help resolve health concerns or issues that they might be having that they may not have thought of, or other things that they're willing to try. And basically, the Chedevies teach that if you can get somebody to attend, I can't remember, I'm going to have to look this up before our call next week, but I think it's 6 continuing ed classes, then basically they will find 3 products that they cannot live without the rest of their life. And I'm sure that you guys can relate to that, right? Like, even now, like, aren't there at least 3 products that there's no way that you could stop ordering, because you need those 3 products the rest of your life. So anyway, so that's what we basically want to help people find, those products that are going to be life-changing for them, and so that they're going to be lifetime customers. Okay, so let's share screen here. I hope this is the right thing here. It always looks so weird when I go to do screen share. Okay, good. Okay, can everybody see the Live Guide? Okay. All right. So an LRP is essentially your second enrollment, right? Because you had an enrollment at first, the person who bought their kit, but then when they get on LRP, they're ordering again, which is fantastic. And then hopefully they'll be continuing to order forever. So anyway, so these Live Guides, you can download them from your back office, or you can purchase them from doTERRA, and they're pretty inexpensive. I want to say you can get a 10-pack for $3 or $2 or something like that. Do you know, Stacy? No, around there.
I was thinking 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's not very much.
It's not much.
And they're a good
little. Than it needs to be.
Yeah, and it's a good little book. They're 20 pages long, and they're colored, right? So they're nice. They definitely give us the deal on that. Okay, so the thing with the wellness consult is these take time. They used to try to tell us that we could fit these in 30 minutes, but really, I don't know anybody who
not a thorough one.
No, you can't do this in 30 minutes. If you do, the person's probably going to feel like you don't care about them because you're just rushing through everything. However,
I've done a lot of them in 30 minutes, like on lunch breaks and things like that.
But it's when you both understand.
Right, but even then, we both walk away going, it's not enough, we want more. I would say at least an hour. Yeah. And so that's what I say too. So an hour,
but yeah, and I think an hour is totally worth it to learn to teach somebody how to order on their own and how to to get them enrolled in the LRP. So it's definitely worth that hour of your time. Okay, so here's the LibGuide. And here's the scoop with the LibGuide is you're not going to go through the whole thing with them. Like, because otherwise you would never be able to get through all 20 pages. So there's basically 2 to 3 pages that you're going to go through with them, and then the rest of it they can kind of do on their own. Okay, so here's how it goes. So congratulations, you really don't need to do that page with them. Okay, so here, this page, which is this doesn't even look like the wellness pyramid here, but that's essentially the doTERRA wellness pyramid. And you want them to rate themselves 1 through 10 on this, so that kind of give you an idea on how you can help them the best. And this whole LibGuide is now color coordinated, and it's pretty cool. It didn't used to be this, well, it was this way, but in a different way. It's way better now than it is.
I have not seen this one. I'm still running the older paper ones.
Me too.
It's looking a little different.
Because I got a ton of them, in fact, from Maryland. In fact, and somebody else, they were getting rid of all their old ones, and I was like, I'll take them. They haven't changed that much.
Yeah.
So I have like 100 old ones still. So it's going to be wild.
I think I've got like 15 or 20.
Not really 100, but I definitely have like
a lot.
I have a lot of them, yes. I just like stocked up. And then I bought more when they were on sale before they updated them. So I'm going to be using old ones for a while. But these new ones are great. Okay, so you're going to have them rate themselves 1 through 10 on here. Like, oh yeah, you know, like I'm really good at whatever. Rest and managing stress, but I'm awful at exercise because I'm always.
So 10 is like I'm really good at, and 1 is like I'm really bad at.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Usually, but I mean, however they rate it, right? Just as long as you understand what their 10 and 1 are.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it will matter. But anyway, and then obviously our good oil users are going to be this proactive medical care. Like those are the expert oil users. Like if anybody's doing that already, wow, because like, yeah, they're like a perfect customer, I guess. Usually nobody is like perfect. So that would be interesting.
I've had a couple.
Or that because they're already into like herbs and natural remedies and stuff. Yeah. See, and that makes them an even better customer.
Oh yeah. They're so much more open to LRP that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is kind of like the golden ticket I think of right here. If they're like going, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. Then you're like, sweet, this is the perfect thing for you. Okay. So this page, which is kind of hard to see the whole page, so you're going to have them do this. So it's
Has it been your experience that most people that you come across aren't doing very good at any of them?
Yeah, because people are never going to rate themselves like they're doing really well at something in front of somebody else.
Well, and my thing is they're like, oh, I'd love to do that, and I want to do that, and I want more information about that. The want is there, but the follow through is not, which is great because then, I mean, that's also a really good thing because then you're like, well, look at what you can do in each of these categories. It doesn't take a lot of time and effort. That's the nice thing about the oils is as long as you've got it in the forefront of your mind and have them out where you're seeing them all the time, it doesn't take a lot of effort, and you've got something you can do in each of those categories.
I agree, and thanks for pointing that out, Susie, because that's a really, really good point. Yeah, and most people rate themselves poorly, which is why sometimes, honestly, I don't even do this page. I'll just go right to the next page that I'm going to do with them because it depends who I'm with, right? Sometimes I just know, like, they are not going to be honest with me on this. They're not going to tell me. But I do think it's good, even if you're not going to have them rate themselves on it, to at least go over this and say, this is what doTERRA is all about. Or sometimes I'll try to throw them a bone. And I'll be like, you know what? No way. You're totally better than that at this one. Like, I've seen your Facebook post. You're always at the gym. Like, come on now. You're like an 8 or a 9 on exercise. You know, whatever. Like, try to, like, help them a little bit so that they're not feeling super self-conscious about it. Anyway. So that's helpful. So here's the trick with this, right? Is to see how it's color coded, right? With the pink, red, blue, yellow, green. So then in the rest of the LibGuide, it is color coded. So anything green is all with the eating and the vitamins. Here we have exercise, different things they can use. So these are the pages we're not going to go through. We're going to skip right to the end because this is way too much information for somebody. It's kind of like overwhelmed, right? Especially if there's somebody who's not like super healthy already. They're going to be like, oh my goodness, my whole life is being turned upside down. I can't do this. It's too much. So yeah, so they can read through it for sure on their own after. That's fantastic. But to go over with it, all of that with it, it's too much information and it would take too much of your time. So anyway, so if you do the wellness pyramid thing, right, and have them rate it, I love this part right here because it goes over very customized and our options, different options for their LRP of like things that they can order depending upon which area it is that they want to improve. I love this because sometimes people just don't know what to order, and this gives really clear, concise like ideas and suggestions based on what they want to improve on. Anyway, I really love this section. Okay, but here's the big sheet that you want to work on, this wellness consult sheet. And oh, there's just so many good things on here. Okay, and this has changed a little bit over time too. doTERRA's had this wellness consult sheet for quite some time. They always change the wording a little bit. But so yeah, so just top 3 health concerns for themselves or their family, because sometimes moms especially have a really hard time going, oh yeah, well, I need help with this or I need help with that, right? They're not going to do that. They're going to be basically, well, here are my kids' issues and here's my husband's issue, before they ever are going to talk about their own issues, right? In fact, you may need to add like 4 and 5 to finally get to something that pertains to them. Just how it goes. But anyway, but so write down those. Okay, so what are your goals? How is it like, so say you're having a hard time with, getting your daughter to sleep through the night. Okay, great. So what's your goal? To get her to stay in her bed for, 6 hours or whatever it is, right? And then what are some natural solutions that you have already or that you need? Okay, well, you have the lavender, but maybe let's try some wild orange too. So we can add that onto your plan. Okay, and then once you kind of talk through this with them and show them, this is a great time too to show them how to use like the app or a book or a pamphlet or whatever it is that you've given them, so they know how to look things up, like look up health concerns. And there's this little place right up here for you to write this, the app or whatever that they can get, or the book that they can go, you can buy the books on Amazon now even. So yeah, so to teach them how to do that, to look up, so that you're not this like be all end all for source of information, right? Teaching them to look it up for themselves. And then helping them come up with like a little plan. Like, okay, you're really struggling with anxiety. How about let's focus on like some balance, putting that on the bottom of your feet, just using some wild orange in the afternoon, and in the evening using some lavender to help you with going to sleep. Whatever it is, just helping them come up with a plan of when to use their oils. Because sometimes we get all those beautiful little oils in the mail, little bottles, and then we just don't know what to do with them. People just sometimes need kind of some hand holding and some really clear instructions on how to use them so they feel comfortable. But not everybody. And so if you've got somebody who's super independent and wanting to do it, then ask them. Say like, okay, well, what do you want to use? What oils do you want to use morning, afternoon, and evening? Maybe they already know. But I say most people probably don't and would appreciate some guidance. Okay, so then you're getting into what are some other things that they may want or need later on. So what are some other wellness choices that could support your goal? I like how they have this worded. So like, oh, well, I really need to drink more water, and I need to work on eliminating like toxic substances in my home, whatever. So, okay, so how about if we add some, lemon to your water and get some On Guard Concentrate Cleaner, like little things like that you can suggest to them. And this is where you can come up with like a little personal thing for them for 3 months for LRP. And one thing that I just picked up from Kindy from our little launch group we're doing, and Rakaya, you probably remember this in the group. I love this. She said when she is doing a wellness consult with them, she says that she's going to meet with them to go over or to help it fit in her budget, help it to fit in their budget. Sorry. And so, and this is so important here to be like, okay, don't assume that anybody doesn't have money to spend on LRP, but don't assume that they have 100 to spend on LRP either. Like totally just be upfront and ask them. Be like, okay, so what do you think? Like $50, $100, whatever it is. And then
I love that.
Yeah.
Let's figure this out so it can fit
in your
what's
budget.
What's going to work for you in your budget.
Right.
That wording is awesome.
Because obviously they're not truly going to benefit from LRP unless they're ordering 50 PV or more a month. Mm-hmm. However, I always tell everybody, I'm like, even if you're ordering one oil a month, do it on LRP because you're going to get your shipping points back. 100% of your shipping if you do it on LRP.
And then when they do have those bigger orders.
Yes, because you never know. Like some months they might have extra money and then they can order a few more oils or whatever.
I've got several people like that will regularly order between $20 and $40, but not $50. But then they're still on that LRP. They're still ordering every month, and they're still getting those benefits when they
totally can. Worth it. Totally worth
it. And what is the minimum? Like, because there's a minimum for Wellness Advocate, and there's a minimum for a wholesale customer?
Well, it's kind of all of the same. So basically, it's like 1 PV, but there's nothing 1 PV. 5 PV as a minimum to just hold your place.
Just to hold your place, okay. But you can't get...
Yes, then 50 PV or more, you earn points.
Okay.
And then if it's 100 or more, then you earn commissions. So you can, because you can't get paid as a Wellness Advocate unless you're ordering 100 or more.
Right, okay.
And then when 25 PV is the free product of the month, if it's by the 15th.
Okay, perfect.
And then sometimes there's the 200 PV promos that are, once a quarter or whatever. So, anyway, does that answer?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Perfect. So yeah, so I always try to make sure everybody knows, like, hey, there's no minimums, like you can order whatever you want so people feel comfortable that way. And I always let them know you can cancel anytime because 9 times out of 10, when anybody's on LRP, they're not going to cancel. Like usually, especially once they've gone for 3 months, they're pretty great that they will stay on LRP.
Yeah. And sorry, 50 PV was what? So 5 PV is a placeholder and 50 PV was?
Earns points. So if they earn 50 or more, they'll earn like the 10%, 15%, 20, 30, whatever, until they're earn points. But either way, even if they're just ordering anything, if they're ordering on their LRP, they get all of their shipping points back.
Yeah.
Because if they order standard order, they only get half their shipping back.
Okay.
So there's still a benefit to the LRP, even if you're not ordering the 50, right? If you're paying for shipping.
Totally.
So yeah.
Cool.
So, hey, Lynette, I muted you. There was a lot of feedback, but unmute yourself if you have questions. We're just doing the wellness consult thing. So anyway, so here, if they're like, oh, I don't really know, or if they're just really like black and white, like as far as like they clearly just need help with one area or another, then definitely like, and if you aren't feeling comfortable enough or just don't want to come up with a customized plan for them or whatever, then come back to these. And these are fantastic because these are ideas or, they're ideas, but they're also for them and you, right? Like, okay,
I also encourage a wish list.
Yes.
Put a wish list together.
Yeah.
The things that you want to order in the future, and this is what we'll do now, and then create this wish list so as you go and as you learn, you want these, and then you can have a plan to make that also. But I've never used fit in your budget, and I love that.
Yes, I love that. I'm so glad you said that because it reminded me something else too. And there's really not a spot here to write, oh, well, right here, you could write wish list on this. You could check off all the oils that maybe they want, right? Because this has all the oils.
Oh, there you go.
So they could mark that like with a little star or something on their wish list. That's a great idea. So here's the other thing too that I would suggest on this, especially if you're making a customized LRP plan for them, is to have them write a little note as to why they want that product or what they're going to use it for. Because I cannot tell you how many times I have gotten like phone calls or texts from somebody that are like, okay, I totally know I was supposed to order geranium and I don't know why. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? And then I have to like think back and remember like, oh my goodness, why did they need geranium? Like, I don't know. So if they wrote it down and just made a little note about it, then they could kind of have a little memory jogger there. But anyway. Okay, so those are basically in here. What's the end? I forget now. Okay, so then they kind of go over the LRP here at the end. I love they have the frequently asked questions. Oh, and here, Rakaya, they have this right here. This little chart of how much to order and what it does. So there you go. But yeah, so they've got more information there for the LRP and how it saves you money, especially with vitamins, and how you earn the percentages, how you work up. And then this is new. I think it's new. I haven't noticed it before, but they have this little essential oil tips on usage tips. So how to effectiveness, safety, and best practices. I thought this was great. This was really good. They got said about SUDX.
I don't remember seeing that before.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't either.
That's so important as a new person, because what if you spill peppermint on your forehead and it goes all over your face and gets in your eye?
And you rinse it out with saline solution. Oh,
I felt so bad for her.
Poor Molly. Yes, that was awful. I was like, oh, you poor thing.
So that's great.
Yeah, so that's really good. And then this page I always love to fill out for them. I always write down their member ID number because that can never be written in enough places. People can never find it or remember it. And then if they want to write their password there, then that's fine. And then I make sure I always put down my name, phone number, email for them. And then I always write over here like our Facebook group so that they can remember that. So yeah, and then great opportunity here on this back page to ask them, or at least let them know that there is a business side of doTERRA. Because if you don't talk about it, you'll never have anybody host a class and you'll never find a builder, right? But if you talk about it, then you'll find builders. So anyway, just to let people know about the options. And I love the approach. I mean, there's so many different ways to do it, but I love the one where you say, there's 3 different kinds of people in doTERRA. There's customers who just love and use the product. There's people who share the product with others just kind of for fun and can get their oils paid for. And then there's people who want to build the doTERRA and do this as a business and love to teach and empower others. So however your wording is that speaks to you, but I just love to present the 3 types of people. For me, that feels more natural, but whatever works for you. Okay, so basically this wellness consult page, in my opinion, is the most important page, and the one to spend the most time on. And then I definitely fill out this last page with the contact info on it, where to go, this one. But I can fill that out prior to, right? So that I'm not taking up time. I can fill that before, but still I like this page to talk about the business stuff at the end. But so really you're only really covering over a few pages. So if you wanted to do let's go back though to the pyramid thing at the beginning. It was right there-ish, yes. Okay, so if you want to do this part though, then you can just go right from here. The flow to this one would be do this part, right? And then say it's cleanse and detoxify. You're going to skip the pages and just go right to the red. Oh, I missed that. I don't know where it went now. I missed. It's jumping on me. There we go. There's the red. Okay. So I could just go over these pages with them, let them know about the different products that doTERRA has to help with reducing toxic load in their home. I love that they have some recipes still on here. They didn't cut them all out. They definitely don't have as many as they used to. Remember how many they used to have in here? It's like a ton. But anyway.
Question.
Yeah.
Like I text you earlier, I don't know how. It's just me naturally. I get too overexcited about the
LRP.
Yes, and when they sign up, I sign them up with the LRP. I didn't ever know that this Live Guide, whatever. I don't know this program very well, so
yeah, that's okay.
Something you have to work with me on.
Yeah. So here's the scoop with that is that it's just like we want to kind of lead them through one door at a time, right? One thing at a time so that it's not too overwhelming and we're not firehosing them with information because that's a quick way to turn people off. So if the class just focus on enrolling people, I don't even talk about LRP at a class. I don't even mention it. And then at the wellness consult is when you're teaching them how to order.
I never get to the wellness consult. That's my problem. I'll have to get there.
Yeah.
We'll discuss it.
Well, and you probably would though if you weren't doing LRPs at the enrollment. Some people who've done it that way and it works out good for them. It's just for some people or for most people, I guess, is what the statistics say is that it's too much. It's too much. It's too overwhelming. And they're like, wait a minute,
well,
I just spent $150 on my kid and now you want me to buy this and this and this. You know, like they're just kind of like, ooh, hold off. But
this is how I present it when I do it, just so you know.
Yeah.
I let them know that it's like a Costco. This is what I say. It's like a Costco wholesale membership.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have a program that you can get your oils for free if you choose. So, you know, I don't know. When I talk to them, I just tell them that this is how much I spend for free oils each month or whatever, because if you're going to buy oils in the future, you've got your oils, but yet we have body products and all this other stuff. I'm not very good at presenting to you right now, but it just comes out when I'm talking to them. I get so excited and I just let them know that the LRP is kind of like the LLV to everybody, you know?
Yeah.
It's the best way to get it because if you set up your LRP, the next order that you're going to do next month, you might as well get paid and get them from yourself and not somebody else.
Right.
Kind of a thing.
Right.
So I don't know. I've missed this whole Live thing, so I got to start over.
That's okay. It's okay. So it's basically taking that and breaking it up into 2 steps for people so that it's not overwhelming and it's not scaring them off, because sometimes if people know about the LRP thing, then they won't enroll just because we're trying to lead them through 2 doors at the same time rather than just getting them through the first door.
And I think they can feel pressured that, now I'm going to have to order something every single month and I'm stuck and I don't even know if I like them yet.
Right. Exactly. They haven't even used them or gotten them in their life. They don't even know yet. So, anyway, it's just good. And LRP is very confusing to explain to people. Like when you're going through the different percentages and how much they have to spend or not spend.
I've never found it confusing, but that's probably just me.
It's not confusing to us because we're used to it. But somebody listening to the first time, most people have a hard time wrapping their head around it.
I think they don't absorb very much of it in the beginning either, especially when you're doing it at a
just on a class
because
they just learned about they just learned about 10 oils and now you're trying to teach them about ordering next month. You know what I mean? It's too much information. They're not going to absorb it all. So
I haven't done a class a lot, so I guess that's my challenge.
Well, even a one-on-one, right? So if a one-on-one, you're just going over the top 10 oils, you're enrolling them with a kit. The next time you're going to meet with them is when they have their oils. check with them. That's another thing I love to do with the wellness consult is be like, okay, which oils have you already opened and used? Awesome. What are you using them for? Okay, which oils, have you not opened yet? Because why? Are you afraid? Is it stinky? Why aren't you using it? So I think that's good to know, because I went like years before I opened my bottle of oregano or frankincense, because I was scared to use oregano, and frankincense was so stinky to me. And I knew it was so expensive, so I didn't want to use it, right? So dumb. Anyway, but I wish I'd had somebody like kind of walk through it with me and be like, oh no, this is how you use it, and it's okay, you know? We didn't have wellness consults back then.
I didn't know this whole program to me is, since I did Girl Get to Silver and did that whole thing, these books are just so new to me. I guess I'm ingrained and stuck in my ways, and I need to change. So
the Live, Build, and Share guides, those have been around for quite some time.
Yes, they have, but I don't know. I never used them properly. I just handed them the Live guide because I signed them up, got them on our LRP, and thank heavens they're still sticking with me.
No, it's great. It's good. And like I said, it works for some people, but what they're finding is that it doesn't work for most. So basically, this is just, and so it doesn't mean is what you were doing was wrong. It just could have been too much for some people. So doTERRA is saying, hey, here's what we're finding is the most successful leaders in doTERRA. Here's what they're doing, and here's how they're doing it. They're passing it on to us. So
I like the fact that they know that when they're on LRP, they're not required to order. They just have like a $5 thing placeholder, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And so, yeah, like I have a lot of people, including one person I'm thinking of, that gets really cranky if they don't get their points. So, yeah. I don't know.
That's good.
I just want to review this real fast.
Yeah.
So $5 is placeholder, $50 you get your points, and $100 you get paid.
Right.
And then $125 you get a free oil.
Right. If it's by the 15th.
Okay.
And we're saying dollars, but we mean PV, right? Like,
yes.
Obviously.
Well,
okay.
I kind of let them know that the PV, and it's still same, and they change. It's just a little it's not perfect.
Yeah,
but
it's similar.
PV, I try to explain to them, PV is almost equivalent to $1. So
right.
If you have like 85 PV, you have $85 to spend. So
right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's a good way to explain it, because yes, it is pretty much dollar for PV for the most part.
That's how I explain getting paid to buy your oils. So
with the free points.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's great.
You're going. That's just how I was taught. I mean, you teach them that you've got your oils and you can use them for many things. You can make many things. But doTERRA is such a great company for having a variety of health. Like we use the toothpaste, we use the soap, we use the laundry soap. You have for those that don't make it, you have your hand soap. You know, I mean, if you don't want me,
So there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, so we're just constantly always tweaking and improving things, right? So it's fine.
Well, no, I was just wondering.
People with too much info, because it might be too overwhelming for some people as well.
I was just telling you what I did. So I don't want to fire hose anybody. So I was just kind of feeling like, well, I've been kind of screwed up a little bit, you know, but
no,
I can learn.
Yeah, no, it's good. We're always learning new ways or better ways to do things. So that's what it's all about.
I'm sorry I'm late.
No worries. It's all good.
I did set my alarm. I wanted to be on the call.
Good. Okay, so that was this in a nutshell. It's hard to, I feel bad. It's hard to kind of see this. This is so much prettier in person. Like these two pages that were like going back and forth are like, you know, it's
That's
all
the
laid out.
new Live Guide.
Nice. Yeah. See, that's so much prettier. But anyway.
Is that it? That's the same, but they've improved it, right? So the old ones will work, but
Yep, the old ones still work. I'm still using the old ones.
okay.
And they usually update these about every year, but I think this one will probably stay a little bit longer because they don't have any prices in it. Did you notice that?
Yes, that's one of the things I did notice. That's why I asked it.
I was just going to ask you about that. I need to print out an updated price list.
Yes, and they are available now. But yeah, there's no prices in it. In fact, there's no prices in the old one either. Yeah, so the old one still works.
Okay.
And you know what? This is what I like. The old one, this is why I'm a little confused too, is the old Wellness Consult has the Wellness Pyramid on the Wellness Consult page.
That's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Yes.
This one is just on a different page. And you still rate yourself and everything else. But that's why it seems a little funny to go on that one page and then switch to the other one. But it's just because I'm not used to it. We'll figure it out, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah. Okay, so what other questions do you guys have about Wellness Consult or enrolling people in LRP, explaining LRP, helping them choose products?
I just need to start doing it again.
I know.
I had to
Start doing them, period.
I had a pipeline thought today.
You did?
Because I was sitting there talking.
Can't hear you, Stacy.
Oh, I can hear. Turn up
It
your
must be
volume.
on your end, Lynette.
Okay.
But my pipeline thought today was, the last 2 months when I've been so distracted by these other things, I have seen my doTERRA stuff just go. And so I had a thought today. I may have pipelines going, but they get a little leaky now and then, and I do need to pay attention to those joints.
I like that. That's good. That's so funny. Well,
my maintenance.
And honestly though, the last 2 months are typically speaking the lowest volume months.
Right.
In the company.
Right. But I've not been talking about it much. I've not been thinking about it much. I've been so.
Yeah, your work is a little
this
consuming.
day. But I got thinking that I'm like, I really need to make sure that I'm still talking to those that I already have on my team.
Yeah.
And keeping those things going and making sure I don't have leaky pipes.
Absolutely. I love that. I had the same thought though today too. I was like, ooh, like that person transferred over to my team. They weren't like technically a new enrollment, but like I never gave them a wellness consult. Like, oh, I'm awful. Like, so there were a few people that I've been looking through going, ooh, I need to schedule some wellness consults.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I haven't done it with any of my new people. I'll bet it's been a year since I've done a wellness consult. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. They're
well, there
so
you go.
important.
They are. I think this is better than enrolling somebody. But
how do you do this online?
That's what I was exactly going to ask. Is that I'm going to have people like in different states? How effective do you guys find them online?
Yeah, so do it just like this on a Zoom call with a screen share, right? It's a little tricky, right? Because I hate the way that the pages kind of scroll down. But another option is you could just mail them one. I mean,
I've done that.
It's just, it would fit like perfectly in like a manila folder envelope thing.
Or even email it to them, right? Because you can download
they can download it and go through. That's another great idea. Yeah.
And you could do it through a Facebook call, a Skype call, a Zoom call,
FaceTime,
any of those kinds of things if they have the material on hand.
Yes. Yeah. So the only thing would be for them to be able to write this page out.
Right.
But they could just print just this one page.
Mm-hmm. I actually had somebody just do
or write it down on a piece of paper.
On a piece of paper, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Just write it down in a notebook or something.
Because I've done that in classes too. I've done a few classes that we've done part of the wellness consult. Like, what are your top 3 issues that you're wanting to deal with? And
my favorite question too with that, well, I guess it goes more with a class, right? And not with this one, but this used to be part of the class. Maybe it still is with the Natural Solutions, but
depends on which class you're doing.
But where they ask the question, how long has this been a problem, or how much have you spent trying to deal with this problem? I love those questions. But
I've never heard that, Melissa. How much have you spent on this problem? That's a really good one.
Yeah, because I once had a wart on the bottom of my foot that I literally spent, I think, like $600 trying to get rid of.
Oh my goodness.
You just used oregano, right?
Yeah, oregano didn't do it.
It didn't. So what did you use?
Nothing. It just went away finally.
Oh.
But yeah, oregano doesn't do it for my warts on my feet. Isn't that weird? I have like 3. It won't go away. I've got to come up with some other oils to try.
What about
I've never heard of that. I've just heard that you just leave oregano on with a cotton ball and a Band-Aid. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that one. What'd you say, Rakaya? What about what?
I said tea tree and frankincense because those 2 oils seem to be in like every skin issue.
Yeah.
Tea and frankincense appear.
That's true. Maybe I'll try those combining. I was trying DDR Prime for a little while too. And then I just give up for a while and then I go back to something else.
Yeah, the app is actually saying Melissa, Arbor Vitae, and frankincense. And then
okay, I'll do Melissa next. Because that's super antiviral. That makes sense. That's cool.
Yes,
So,
there's an oil named after her. Did you hear that?
What'd she
Becky
say?
says there's an oil named after her.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yes, it's just for Melissa.
Like, just for me.
And it's the most expensive one, right?
Right? Totally. Lila asked
Well, when you find something precious, it's worth all you pay for it,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Lila asked me, like, why does this oil have your name on it? And I'm like, that's the name of the oil. I'm like, it's a flower.
It's mine.
And she goes, oh, is that why your name Melissa? Because you're named after the flower? I'm like, no, but sure. Whatever. She was very confused trying to figure it all out. So anyway, but yeah, so that's a great idea. So those are great suggestions for how to do this online with somebody. So there's like 5 different ways right there we just thought of that you could do it.
Yeah, cool.
So that's great. I think the most important thing, right, is for somebody to know that they have somebody with them. And this is going to come back to next week's call too, I guess. But do they know that they have somebody with them through the journey? Because it's so overwhelming. And it's such a different way of using things, right? Or like using oils. I mean, that's just so weird, right? Especially if you're not used to it or haven't been doing it.
And I think just having someone you can talk to and ask those little questions. I mean, you don't want somebody that's going to rely on you all the time for it, but to have somebody know that you are there through that journey. I've had so many people come to my team because of that.
Yeah.
Because they're like, the team I was on, I had nothing. I had no one to talk to about it. I didn't know where to go for my answers.
Yeah.
So
and that is one thing I love about our team, right? Is we do have like such a great support system.
Yeah.
And great resources.
I love it. Like I said, I was telling Rakaya earlier today with Kat, like that's my favorite part. And so I'm like probably overboard about it. I've been doing.
I don't think so though, because seriously, I mean, I've talked to so many people. They're like, yeah, I have my oils and I kind of know how to use them. And I look at this and I look at that, but it's like, okay, let's compare it to our book group or any book group or anything you do as a group. When you have other people to talk to and share your passions and enjoy and connect with, and other people that are using those oils every day, you create a family, you create friendships. It's way more than the oils.
Yeah.
And so it's so much more, it's just so much more than trying to do this on your own.
Yeah.
It really is.
It really is.
I agree. I love it.
I'm really glad that you guys told me about writing the reference to the book and the app on the Live Guide, because I would have missed that completely.
I know, it's so tiny.
It's so tiny, and I feel like that's like a good way to get people to like learn independently.
Yeah.
And Catherine, what she does is anybody who spends over a certain amount of PB with their first enrollment kit as a wellness advocate, she will buy the app for them.
Nice.
So that's like another great way to like get someone in the habit of using the app.
Yeah. It's cheap. Like, well, it's $4 for us.
Yeah, it's about $8 or $9, I think, for us. So
what? Oh my goodness. I thought it was $4. Maybe it's more then.
I think it's more.
I think I paid like $4.99 or $5, but I had to get
Essential
the
Life.
app.
Or is it the Essential Life
Yeah.
app? Okay.
That's the Essential Life.
Essential Life one is, I thought, $4 for us. And I love that one because then you just renew it on the next year and they'll update it. So you,
Yeah, and it's full of stuff.
it has so much information. It's fantastic.
Lovely to look at.
Yeah.
And you can like, yeah,
It is
It's-
very pleasing to the eye, yeah.
Is it available for Android? Because I
It's
haven't been able to
not.
find it.
It is not.
What?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't know about what you're talking
It's only for iPhone. They said it's coming, which is usually it's the other way around. Usually it's always
Yeah.
Android first and iPhone last.
Yeah.
For whatever
I'm
reason,
looking at one
Essential
right
Life app is iPhone first, and the Android says it's coming. In fact, I just looked this up the other day. Let's see when it's coming because
Okay.
it said
Yeah, you're right. It says only on the apps. Download on the App Store. I don't see the Android.
yeah, it did say coming though. Let's see.
Okay, they download your.
Android app version coming 2019.
Oh, there we go.
And
Okay,
then sign up to
When
be
what?
notified.
Just 2019. It didn't say.
right here.
Yeah,
This is all it says.
Yeah.
So, but you can go in and
Essential oils in
add your emails for update.
Is this Aroma Tools or is this Essential Life? Oil Life.
The Essential Life.
Technically, it's oil. It's the ink is through Oil Life, but it's just I just googled Essential Life app.
Yeah, it's the Essential Life.
So can I ask which book you like better, the Oil Life Big Book or Aroma Tools Big Book?
Well,
Oh, I'm knocking that
I
one.
used to love the Modern Essentials book, and that was all I used. And now the Essential Life book is like, it's the one. It's always on my desk.
So I don't know which, I'm sorry, which one, I'm not getting it. Which one's which? Oil Life, the Oil Life book or Aroma Tools
This is
book?
the one from Oil Life,
Thank you.
and I use this one more than I use the Modern Essentials book. But I still like the Modern Essentials book for different things. They just have different information in there.
Okay, thank
But
you.
I do like.
How I do it, Lynette, is I like the Modern Essentials for quick reference, and I like the Life one for knowledge.
Yes.
Mm,
Really
okay,
learn.
that's good to know.
I do
That's
use
how
them.
I use them.
I do use them both. But for instance, like somebody was asking me for BOGO Week, what does pettigrain smell like? And I was like, I know
Oh.
exactly where I can find that in the Modern Essentials book, but it's not listed in the Essential Life book.
So what did it say? What
Pettigrain
does it
stinks
smell
to me.
like?
I'm sorry, it just does.
I
but it works
love
great.
the smell of it, and everybody's like, it stinks.
They had
I'm
it
like,
described
it
perfectly.
smells so good. It reminds
Ugh.
me of, it's a peppery smell to me, like you get with your green and red peppers. Not a hot pepper, but a
I
sweet
think it
pepper.
described it as a floral citrus or something with a hint of
Oh, see, I don't smell that. I smell.
I don't
peppers.
smell that either. It reminds me of Arborvitae Home Depot.
pettigrain.
Huh?
Pettigrain?
Pettigrain's cross between Spikenard and Home Depot.
That is
No,
awful.
Spikenard
Spikenard is
stinks.
awful.
Oh, Spikenard smells like stinky, sweaty feet.
Oh, it's disgusting.
I don't even know what that is.
It's
Oh, it stinks.
How do you
so
use
bad.
it anyway? It's one of my oils I haven't opened because I can't handle the smell.
I know, I can't handle the smell
Yeah.
either. I think doTERRA's probably not selling very much of that oil.
Well, they labeled it as the man's vanilla, the man's lavender, didn't they?
That's
The
pettigrain.
Yeah, pettigrain. Yeah.
Which I love pettigrain. It's
But
one
no,
of my favorite
spikenard
oils.
smells just putrid. I don't know what's wrong with it.
I haven't even heard of that one. Okay.
It's
No,
they
nobody
came out with it
really.
a year or two ago, and it just is about 2 years ago, I think, and it just smells so bad.
Oh,
You don't
no.
if you're gonna use it, like use a very strong, nice one with.
And then
Arcora
I have to use like tangerine after it, and that does
Okay.
cover it up. But yeah, it is pretty.
Tangerine does.
Mhm.
Does it blend well? I don't dare open the bottle.
I just put it right on over. So I'll do spikenard, and then I put tangerine on right over after, very quickly.
So what is Spikenard for?
Well, I was using it because it's one listed for anxiety, but it's I don't know. I don't know.
I used it for emotional support one time, and one time I'm like, no, I think I'm not going to.
It probably increases the anxiety. Like this.
Because it smells so bad. It smells so bad. They really need to come up with that in a blend or something because it is just awful. But it's good for lots of things.
I'll look that up.
Yeah, insomnia. There you go, Stacy.
Yeah.
Right now, we just need to get my daughter to sleep.
Oh, okay.
I'm finally sleeping, but she got her spacer
Yes.
spreader. She's in so much pain. She was
Oh,
so
that
miserable.
My
Yeah.
Marissa said that all of you guys online are so cute and adorable.
Thank you.
She says your beagles are so cute.
Anyway. Okay, well, I should have stopped recording. So sorry for those of you listening to the recording.
Sorry.
Just a second. Let me go back to this so I can stop the recording. Then we can, if you have any more questions.